Now that the official is out, I want to talk about One Piece chapter 995 and, just review some things that I've had time to think about, sit down, go through, talk with people, watch other videos, get other thoughts and see what people are thinking. And I don't know, like some things, I won't go through everything, obviously, because I already went kind of through everything in my review my reaction. There we go, which was my last video. And if you want to see me go through kind of everything, you can go watch that video as well. I will put a link to it in the corner. But this one, I just want to go through some specific things and, things that I've had time to think about. Starting off with the chapter title. Now, of course, I did kind of... Okay, so when I read the chapter the first time, I kind of made a mistake because I thought the Kunoichi's oath was Tama because Tama made a promise with Ace about joining his crew, and people are in the whole mood of next straw hat, so I kind of just got trapped in that thinking. But no, it was actually about Nami, and Nami swearing kind of swearing that Luffy would be king of the pirates. Although I must say that I'm not sure I like the official translation the way it did it as much as the fan translation, because the official translation made it seem like Nami was kind of still being a coward and didn't have the impact of, okay, Nami is actually she believes in him and kind of stuff like that. She just kind of seemed like she worded it carefully and it's just Ulti who's on a short fuse, rather than, okay, she's actually resolved herself and steeled her resolve in order to get this line up, because that's what she believes in. So on that one, I would say the official let me down a bit as far as emotion compared to the fan translation. But focusing more on Tama, who showed up at the end, I think it's very interesting that the fact that she did show up at the end, right? It calls into question many things. Like, one, is she the person who was actually following Brook and Jinbei, or was that Yamato, or is that someone we still haven't seen? Will it be made clear exactly who that was, or is that kind of just going to be used as a device where characters will just come in by surprise throughout the raid and won't know who that actually was, but it will all make sense because someone was there and maybe it was one of these people. Who really knows, right? Because I assume if there was a big dog like that and a girl like Jinbei and Robin should have noticed, but who knows. But it also does make you think, right? Maybe Hiyori will come along, because Onigashima is not on the mainland of Wano, so how did Tama and a dog that big get there? I mean, you can't say she stowed away on a ship, because the Koma Inu is so massive. That thing can't stow away without anyone noticing it. So they clearly came some other way onto Onigashima, which just makes you question, can other people come? Can Hiyori come? Because I don't know, I doubt that she just kind of jumped on a boat and said, I'm going there, and by luck kind of made it somehow, kind of like how Inu and Neko by luck made it from Zou to Wano when they were kids. So I don't know, I feel like there could be something there with travel being easy between Onigashima and Wano. And people just didn't do that before, because why would I go to Kaido? But I do want to also find out, why, Tama actually came. She seems, of Hiyori and Tama, Hiyori seems like the person who is more likely to show up. Maybe not. But she seems like someone who would be more motivated, to show up than Tama, because, Hiyori, Kozuki, and everything that's going on. So I want to find out why she's here. But also want to find out how she came, and could other people just, show up during the raid? And that makes me kind of wonder how this whole raid thing would be, because people talk about the whole raid and then moving from Onigashima to the mainland of Wano. Is that possible? But if travel is this easy, maybe all the important characters can just come to Onigashima. Who knows? Or maybe everyone will go back to the mainland of Wano, but because maybe there's an easier way to get to the mainland, then it won't really be an issue for the characters when we do make that transition, if we do make that transition. But anyway, moving on to different part of the chapter, I wanted to talk about Marco and Big Mom. Now, I never really thought about it this deeply, but after watching Joyboy's video, I'm starting to really question everything. Now, I have mentioned that, you know what, Marco's flames are probably special, or maybe they're not as special as I've been thinking they are, but it's a thing of matchups, right? Because Brooke had that kind of, because of the matchup, Brooke had like extra speciality against Big Mom and her homies, and maybe with Marco's a similar thing. I mean, at the end of the day, both Marco and Brooke's fruits have to do with, you know, kind of death and coming back to life, regeneration on one, then the other one is the Yomi Yomi no Mi way he comes back after death. Both of them, the idea is coming back after death, and maybe that's effective against the souls that Big Mom has. I don't know. Maybe it's something else. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's kind of like one of those nuanced things where it's like, because of his power, you can kind of make the connection that he kind of would have this effect against someone with Big Mom's power. We're not sure. But interestingly enough, the whole kind of Big Mom and Perospero team up was a bit questionable, because just think, when you think about it, it's like, okay, so Big Mom's homies couldn't do anything against him, but she could grab him. She literally grabbed him by the throat, and instead of Big Mom finishing him off, she asked Perospero to do so. So it's like, why would you ask Perospero if you have him by the throat? Why would Perospero need to finish him off? It's also very interesting to note, okay, wait, so before I go on to that point, what's special about Perospero? But also interestingly to note is that Big Mom seems to not know about Marco and his powers, but she's relying on Perospero. So does that mean that Perospero and Marco have had some interactions? Because Perospero also wanted to kill Marco in the past. Does that mean that they've had interactions over the years, but Big Mom's never been part of that, and she just doesn't know about his power? Because this is something that's really shocking, when Big Mom doesn't know something. Just because of how much Big Mom knows, and Big Mom doesn't know something about someone who's very, as popular as Marco is, that's a bit shocking, right? But, I mean, how would you reason this whole situation? Well, how does this make sense at the end of the day? And then also, I think another interesting part is that Big Mom said, I don't have enough, what did she call them? Soul weapons? She said, what is it? Yeah, soul weapons. She called them soul weapons to spare on you, Marco. So that's very interesting, because it feels like it's a bit different from just saying, I don't have homies to spare on you. It seems like there's a way in which she can use her devil fruit, and now they essentially become more of weapons than they just do like the generic homies which we've seen. But I don't know, I'm just throwing things out there because it seems like there's a bit of mystery on Marco's devil fruit, and maybe there's something we haven't seen with Big Mom's devil fruit. I'm not really sure. And she's also trusting Perospero to deal with Wanda and Carrot, which is also really crazy, considering, you know, how much Big Mom and Kaido know about the Sulongs and know that Sulong is strong, because Big Mom saw Wanda and Carrot and she was like, ugh. So she knows that Sulong is a big deal, but I guess she trusts Perospero enough to be able to handle them, which I think is just odd, interesting, confusing. The whole situation just is riddled with questions after you pass like the basic reading of the whole scenario. But lastly, I wanted to get into one more part of this whole chapter, which is the disease. And I'm honestly getting a bit scared here about how, you know, this will play out as far as consequences of things going on, and, you know, how serious it will end up being. Because once again, watching Joyboy's video, he brought up some points which made me think about something else on my own about how this disease will be, because it seems that, you know, this is a disease that, you know, is linked to warmth and blood and something like that, and, you know, people are freezing, and so they're getting excited, and maybe they die when like all the warmth in their body is gone. They will be dead. And I'm kind of getting some Punk Hazard vibes right here, right? With Caesar's gas, which, you know, would kill you and turn you into this what was it? Was it a wax statue and you would die like that? That's what it seemed like, and it seemed so dangerous. But then afterwards we found out that no, you can just, you know, if you come in time, you just break the thingy, it's just a coating on top, and, you know, you freed the person, they're alive and no consequences. And I'm getting a similar vibe here, and honestly, I'm scared that what might happen is that there won't be any serious consequences. At the end of the day, you could just, you know, come back, thaw the person, and they'll be fine as long as they don't stay frozen for too long. I'm feeling that might just be the case here. I mean, Oda has a track record of consequences which don't end up being consequences. So Hopefully it's more than this, especially kind of with the whole Onigashima thing, but maybe the whole Onigashima between Kaido, Big Mom, and, you know, the calamities and all the guys, there's too many threats, so some threats needs to be watered down a bit. Tell me how you feel about these things. Like, these 3 different things with Tama coming to one Onigashima, how she did so, what does that mean for other characters moving between Onigashima and Wano, yeah, Marco and Big Mom, that interaction, and also this disease. Like what I've said, does that seem very likely on Oda's part? Does it seem like something that would happen or that could happen? And how do you feel about it happening? But yeah, these are just my other thoughts after coming to really think about this chapter. As always, guys, please subscribe and like this video. Yeah, if you know someone who needs to hear some of these opinions, some of these interesting thoughts, please share this video around, share my thoughts as well. If you have time, watch one more video. If not, thank you for watching this video this far, guys. This is King KZ, and I'll see you in the next one.